Hey everybody, welcome to today's Daily Distinction. Whether you're watching live or on replay, really glad that you're here. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join me. And today we are going to talk about, if you joined me yesterday, I went on a rant about the poor treatment we had received from American Airlines. And the reason I'm talking about it is not just, I'm not just complaining about American Airlines. There's lessons for all of us. There's lessons I need to learn about the customer experience. There's lessons that all of us can learn about that. So something happened after we finished Daily Distinction yesterday and went off, and it was kind of a resolution to it that I want to share with you because it is something else that we can learn from what we experienced. By the way, it is a beautiful day in Las Vegas today. Hey, Brian, great to see you. Coffee cheers right back at you, my friend. Thank you for being here. Today is the first day, I think they said in 2.5 months, 3 months, first day that the high won't reach 100. The high today will supposedly reach about 98. But right now in the backyard, it is 90 degrees. And I'm telling you, with the heat and humidity that we've had here, it is very comfortable and gorgeous. So glad you're with us, and we're going to talk about the importance of the customer experience in the brief time we got together today. Scott, always great seeing you. Hey, here's my friend from back home. Sheila, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. It's great to see you. Thank you for being here, and we continue to hope good things for you and your health and your world. So really great having you here. Man, as soon as this starts, the wind picks up. Why does that happen? Anyway, okay, so if you missed yesterday, I came back to Vegas after my speech in Indianapolis last week. Tammy went from Indianapolis back up to Fort Wayne, my wife, where her family is, visited them. And then she was flying back here home to Vegas out of Fort Wayne. Her flight she gets to the airport and the flight's delayed. And it keeps getting more and more delayed. And it was delayed for 4 hours, which obviously meant she was going to miss her connection in Chicago. She asked, could she just change her flight and stay in Fort Wayne another night? Her dad could come pick her up and she could spend another night with family and fly out the next day. And they basically said no, because your luggage is already, taken care of. We can't go get your luggage back. They wouldn't let her do it, basically. So she waits in the airport for 4 hours. And Kevin, you would know, right? I mean, delays are sadly common at Fort Wayne. So as she is boarding the plane, they say, well, there's something wrong with her ticket. She can't get on the plane. Now, she sat there for 4 hours, and they said, oh, and we don't have a seat for you. And Tammy says, well, I got my... Well, fortunately, just good fortune, a baggage claim agent hears about it, hears her say that, and goes up. And obviously, the person didn't know what they were doing. There was some kind of mess up, and he fixes it so she gets on the plane to Chicago. She had talked to him on the phone, and they'd said, okay, there will be a voucher waiting for you in Chicago for a hotel room and for breakfast tomorrow morning, and then your flight will leave Chicago at noon. Well, by now, it's 12:30, 1 o'clock, something like that when they landed in Chicago. Nobody's there. Nobody to give her a voucher. Nobody to help her. Nobody to anything. So I said, I wonder if they're taking your bags off the plane. You'd hate for your bags to be sitting in Chicago in baggage claim. You better go check that out. So she goes down there. There is somebody in the baggage claim office. There's somebody behind the desk. Anyway, they said, no, you don't qualify for a voucher, and no, you're not getting your bags back tonight. And she's like, well, I just talked to, and she had the name of the person on the phone, and they said there would be a voucher. And the woman behind the counter says, no, there's no voucher. You don't qualify for a voucher. And Tammy said, well, could I have your name so that I could call back and I can say so-and-so said it? And the woman behind the counter said, you're being hostile. I'm calling the police. Now, if anybody knows Tammy, hostile is something that's kind of hard to wrap your head around about Tammy being hostile, then they had to call the police. fortunately, again, a baggage claim guy is there. He goes, she's not being hostile. She just asked for your name. And it's like, I wasn't asking for your cell phone number, your address. I just want to know your name. Right, Kevin, because policies. Okay, so I finally get through after an hour wait. Okay, so now it's like 2 a.m. So now after this, I finally get through to American, and they say they're going to email her a voucher. That takes another hour. So now it's like 3 a.m. She's alone. She's in an empty airport. And the hotel that has a room available is a 20-minute drive away. I got to tell you, as a partner, spouse, husband, when your wife alone is getting in an Uber at 3 a.m. in Chicago, it's kind of scary. She should never have been put in that situation to begin with, but it's kind of scary. So she finally gets to the hotel. Everything's fine there, gets checked in. It's all good. She takes a ride back to the airport the next day and gets home. So I'm kind of complaining to American. First off, the ride to and from the hotel, the total bill was $140. We shouldn't. Would you want to pay that because they made the mistake? And there was no apology. There was no nothing. So I went through this on yesterday's thing. And so we finally came up with, I just said, this is unacceptable. This is ridiculous. So they responded yesterday afternoon. And I want to let you know what the quote unquote agreement settlement was. Let me get to some of the folks that are here though first, because I truly appreciate you being here. Susan, hey, it's so great to see you. Yes, thank you for being here live in the UK. I really appreciate what a world we live in, that I can sit in my backyard in Las Vegas and you're watching from the UK. And here's somebody I haven't heard from a while. Robert, so good to see you. How are you? I'm so glad you're here. Kellan in New Mexico. Look forward to talking to you soon. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. It's just crazy. All right, so American Airlines finally wrote and said, yeah, Jason, it does. It sounds like kind of customer service you get in a third world country. So yesterday, part of what I was talking about was, so apologize, right? Just say you're sorry, and what can we do to make it right? Right? And here's a little something for your inconvenience. Right? Just something so that the customer feels valued. So American demanded the receipts of her trip. Okay, we had the receipts of, it was like $138.92 or something like that. That was what it cost to fly or for the ride to the hotel and back. So we gave her the receipts. And then they get an email saying a check is being sent to you for, and it was that exact amount. That's it. I mean, I guess you could have stiffed this for the Uber fare, but that's it. And so I wrote, I said, that's it. No, here's a little something, here's $100 off your next flight. Give us another chance at American Airlines. Here's 2,000 frequent flyer miles, or, we're going to give you gold status next year, Tammy, or that's it. I mean, we'll pay you back for what you had to spend because of how we screwed up. That's it. And here is what they sent back. They said, we want all our customers to receive excellent service and are sorry that your wife had this happen. By the way, that should be had this happen, not happened. Rest assured that your comments will be looked at closely to be used for coaching and training purposes. We're unable to offer anything else but our sincere apologies. How sincere do you think that apology is when they just reimburse you because of what you spent because they screwed up, and no comment about the rudeness that she was dealt with. So here's what I did. I wrote back and I said, my experience has been that in situations like this, when you don't have the ability to offer anything other than an apology, is you got bad leadership. You have bad management, because managers and leaders should trust frontline people enough to be able to make a customer feel good. Kevin, I love this. That's how I should have. That's how I should have. How would you want this handled if it was a member of your family that's alone getting in a car at 3 a.m. in Chicago? Yeah, you're right. Sheila, it's just totally unacceptable. But here's the thing. I've got a trip to Nashville next week. I was going on American Airlines. I'm not going on American Airlines now. So the fact that they didn't help us out cost them a $600 plane ticket I would have bought, and who knows how much in the future. Why? Don't get me wrong. Will I fly American again? You bet I will. I'll fly them on my frequent flyer miles, so I burn those. But am I going to pay them again? Not unless I have to. Randy Pennington wrote yesterday, and he said, one of the things that he's realized and he was told by a pilot is that we know we upset you and we just don't care. Isn't that the feeling that you get from this? We offer our sincere apologies and we just don't care. Enough people are going to do business with us. But you know who else has said that? I mean, when you look at the destruction of businesses in this country, a lot of it is simply because of arrogance. We can do less for our customers and they won't care. We don't care. I mean, look at where Sears is today. If you're as old as I am, you remember when Sears was a dominant force in retail. Look at Nokia. We can go on and on and on. Circuit City was one of the companies that's cited in the book Good to Great as one of the great companies, one of the 11 great companies of the world. Circuit City. And what happened? They started trying to cut overhead by letting their best people go. More than one person has responded from yesterday's program saying that one of the things that happened because of the pandemic is that companies like American Airlines they did early buyouts for some of their most senior people. Well, they overdid it to the point that now nobody that's working knows what they're doing. That's an overstatement, obviously, but the lack of senior leadership and senior advice on the front lines is gone. They're poorly educated, poorly trained, poorly informed, and they've been taught how to do their job but not how to serve their customer. So part of what you and I have to look at, and I don't mean to turn this into a gripe session about American. I'm trying to make it into something I can learn from and you can learn. We can all learn from, right? Is that how we make the customer feel, how we make our colleagues feel, has never been more important than it is today during this highly pressured and highly sensitive and highly volatile time. It's been quoted so much, the old Maya Angelou quote about, people won't remember the words you said, but basically they'll never forget how you made them feel. That's never been more important than it is today. How are you making the people that you work with and the customers that you serve, how are you making them feel? Because that's what they're going to remember. Look, would I be doing this ranting if American would have made us feel good? Absolutely not. Hey, I might talk about the importance of making sure you adhere to schedule. Kevin mentioned earlier that, delays are common at Fort Wayne. And hey, we've all, if you've traveled very much at all, we've all had delayed flights. Pull up your big boy, your big girl pants and deal with it, right? But when you add insult to injury, when you show that you don't care, that's when we have real challenges. Hey, I got one more thing to say about it, but before I do, please share this with folks that follow you. It means so much when you just click that share button and give people the opportunity to see this on the replay. And I also want to mention, as I always do, the Iconic Getter Circle. First month's on me. It's absolutely free. No reason for you not to try it. It's free. Just go to iconicgettercircle.com, sign up for your free month. Take a look at the programs that we have there on how you create personal distinction, on how you tell stories more effectively in business, about how you conduct better virtual events, and most importantly, our weekly program that we do of something that you can do, a specific action that you can take to create distinction in your marketplace. Just go to iconicgettercircle.com, sign up for your free month. I'd love to see you there. Hey, Robert. Well, I'm blessed that you are here. Thank you for taking time to do that. You know, Kevin, that you nailed it. I mean, I was disappointed, and that's Tammy's situation, right? Disappointed with the non-performance, but hey, it was a mechanical problem. Thank goodness you fixed it on the ground and it didn't happen in the air, right? I mean, so a mechanical issue like that, a problem like that, it is what it is, But the rudeness in the transaction and the mistake in the response, that's where it makes you feel in a way that you don't forget. So if we don't get it right, how do we make it right? We humbly apologize. We listen to the problem the customer has experienced, and we ask them, what can we do to solve the problem? I mentioned yesterday, if you didn't see yesterday, let me mention it again. There were studies that showed that when you ask the customer, what can you do to make it right? What the customer wants is often much lower than what the company is prepared to offer. So by asking them, most customers, not 100%, but it's not 100% of anything. Most customers aren't outrageous in what would make it right. You know what we really wanted? I mean, just throw something our way so we know that it's not just a reimbursement. I mean, all they did was reimburse what you spent. Brian, you're exactly right. When the customers heard, it's a difference maker. And Sheila, you nailed it. I mean, they did. At every step along the way, all they did was add salt to the wound. So, Brian, thanks for that. Yeah, the cost of inaction, right? The COI. That was a huge cost. That's a huge cost. So, there we have it. Tammy jokes that one of two things happens in every interaction that we have in business. Either we have a great customer experience, or she says, or Scott gets new material. And I'm one of the keynote speakers for this big event in Cleveland coming up later this year called Customer Service Revolution. I mean, there's going to be lots of people in the audience that are leaders in the customer experience. And guess what story I'm going to use about how not to treat a customer? So at the end of the day, what we have to do, it's not brain surgery. It's not that hard. Listen, apologize, ask what we can do to make it right. We do those simple things, then we're on the way of fixing the issues and the problems and the challenges that we experience in dealing with customers. Hey, thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. Great being with you. I'll talk to you again tomorrow, same time on the next edition of Daily Distinction. See you tomorrow, everybody. Thank you for watching.